You definitely not to speaker wire.
Yeah, maybe the speakers from
Oh, did you not put it on? Okay, so I can see Yuji, Chaz, Colin. I don't see Samir or Pam. That's I see. There we go. And then witness will have to go here for us to be able to see them. So we'll just move this. So can Yuji, can you grab the witness chair and put it here? And you want my green visual? So witnesses, you're gonna have to take a seat here, okay? In order to be seen. Right now. Yeah. What we call you? So guys, quick question. Do you want to just stand in your place and talk? Yeah? Okay.
Zorayan, their mic is off.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay, good, yeah. We'll have our lawyer speak to the computer, and our witness will be over here, but he's not here right now, so we're ready to go whenever you are.
Hi, Michael, it's Melanie.
Hi, Melanie.
So we have here my entire law class behind. You may not be able to see them, but you can kind of see some of them waving. So, and before you are the defense attorneys, and the witnesses will be called to the stand as needed. Is the Crown ready to proceed?
Yes, we are, Your Honor. Our witness isn't here yet, but if worst came to worst, one of our lawyers will be our witnesses. So what would it?
Well, that's not a problem. What we can do is maybe we can start with introductions, and we can introduce who the witnesses are, so we can identify gender as well with the witnesses.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Did you want to begin, or would you like us to begin so to give more time for your witnesses to roll in?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and begin and tell us a little bit about the school too. We're videoing it so we can put it up on YouTube.
Oh, very cool. Okay, awesome. So we'll start with one of our lawyers, Yuji. So go ahead, and then we'll go. No, this is just formal instruction. Tell them about our school. We're just actually introducing ourselves.
Hi, I'm Arhan. Hello, my name is Yuji.
Hi, my name is Shaz.
Hi, I'm Colin.
And our two witnesses behind.
I'm Ola.
And this is the rest of the class that will be And hi, I'm Melanie. Okay, so that's it for our end. We're going to have different attorneys and lawyers and a witness for next round when we play Crown. So this is the first half. Maybe did someone want to talk about Graydon?
It's really nice.
Oh, thanks.
We have amazing air conditioning during the winter.
So Graydon is
60 years old.
Yes, it's an old school, but not old students. It has the it's house of what we call a regional program here, and the regional program that most of the students are a part of is the IBT program. So they focus on international business and technology. Some of the students in this group and in this class are actually from the mock trial team. And the mock trial team is next week going to be traveling to San Francisco to compete. And just last week, they're the mock bail champions for our regional competitions. Yeah. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about you and introduce yourselves in your school.
Well, my name is Alondra Montezuma.
And hi, my name is Jacob Shaw.
And
we're the attorneys for today. Our witness, Mr. Joaquin Cruz, who will be playing the constable, is not here at the moment, unfortunately. And if he could not make it, then I'll take over the position as the witness and simultaneously be the lawyer. We attend, of course, Del Valle High School, a school about 7 miles outside of Austin in Texas, has about 3,300 students, and we love to do mock trials, and specifically we do appellate court, which is similar to mock trial in a sense, but takes place after a mock trial in legal procedures, and we're happy we're doing mock trial again.
Awesome. Okay.
What's the weather like now? What's the weather like now?
They're asking what the weather is because it's snow and cold here, so they're curious to know what kind of weather you have there.
Well, in Texas, it's about 40 degrees Celsius or so.
No, not 40 degrees Celsius.
Oh, Fahrenheit. I'm sorry.
Okay, we've had a bit of a cold snap. I think the low this morning was 33 with about 16, 17 mile an hour wind. But last week we're in the 90s, so stay tuned. I guess we imported some air conditioning.
Not really great.
Okay, it's okay. Can we give our opening statement? Can the Crown begin?
Yes. So the Crown is ready to proceed.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, can we proceed now?
Please.
Your Honor, may it please my court, Your Honor, may it please the court, my partner Jacob Shaw and I, Alondra Moctezuma, will represent the Crown in the bail hearing of R.V. Souza. At this hearing, it will be our job to show that Marco Souza does not deserve bail. We're not arguing the guilt or innocence of Marco Souza, simply the fact that this is his third time to appear in court and the third time he has sought bail. Each time they had paid the bail, and each time instead of doing what he promised to do, he ends up right back in court. The Crown feels that the words are cheap and that facts speak for themselves. Each trouble with the law has gotten progressively worse, and each crime has had one common factor since the first time he had broken probation. These are the facts we are arguing in this court today. Does a man who has committed 3 crimes in a short period of time need to be able to walk the streets of a fair city to commit yet another crime? Or should he be denied bail? I am reminded of an old adage, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Your Honor, this has happened twice. Please, do not make it a third or fourth time. Your Honor, we will call Constable Tenson Soman. He will testify that Marco Souza was arrested shortly 1 a.m. on the morning of September 24, 2013. The constable was called to Nipsey MC Thirsty Pud to investigate the theft. Once on the scene, a witness, De La Costa, told constable 2 young men took an electrical bar sign from the Pud and then escaped in a white panel van and the passenger side with a window broken. The constable came across the car and arrested the 2 men in the van. And was charged with under $5,000 of CC-334, a possession of stolen property over $5,000 CC-354, failure to comply with probation CC-3.733.1, and failure to comply with his curfew C.145. Because of these crimes and because of the fact that Marco has promised this court twice before any guidelines of his probation, and because of these says promise has resulted not in any modification in behavior, we the Crown ask that Marco Souza now be given a bail so that the peace of our community will be intact. We're asking for detention, allowing Marco Souza to be denied bail until his trial for these 4 offenses are completed. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is the Crown ready to proceed with their first witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just give us a few minutes.
Can you give us a few minutes, please?
Just give us a second. We got to change the camera position.
Sure. Okay, is your witness, can we assume for the purpose of this exercise that the witnesses are sworn in?
Fine.
Certainly.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Are you ready to proceed, Crown, with your first witness?
Yes, Honor. Let's start off. What is your name?
My name is Tenzin Snowman.
What is your occupation?
I'm a constable officer.
Who did you receive a phone call from the morning of September 24th, 2013?
I received a call from a local bar owner.
Okay. What was this call in reference to?
The owner had called me to report possible theft.
What did you learn about this part of your investigation?
I had learned that two young men had entered the bar and denied to purchase alcohol because they could not show that they were of age, and so they left angry. And once the owner saw that they had left, so was the sign missing.
Mr. Soma, how did you first meet Marco Souza?
I first met Marco Souza when I pulled over the van that was described to me that had been seen leaving the crime.
What did he do on September 24, 2013 at around 1 a.m.?
He had stolen the sign from the pub.
And what was he charged?
He was charged with theft.
What does it mean to be a violation of your probation?
A violation of your probation would be breaking the rules set by your probation officer.
What does it mean to be a violation of your curfew?
Violating the curfew would mean just violating the time you're supposed to be at certain places, in this case, home.
Who did you arrest on the morning of September 24, 2013?
I arrested Mark Souza and his friend, Mr. King.
Your Honor, I would like to pass my witness.
Sure.
Your Honor, I would like to pass my witness. Oh,
Yes, go ahead. Can they hear us? Can you hear me?
We now open up our witness to cross-examination, Your Honor.
Excellent. Okay. Is defense ready to proceed?
No.
We're ready to proceed. The defense is ready to proceed.
Yes.
So, constables.
Yeah, you can sit down, but you can see yourself. There, yeah, you're fine.
Constable Sonim. You indicated that you received description of a white paneled van, is that correct?
That's correct.
And was there a license plate number given to you?
Not at the time, no.
So is it therefore fair to say that more than one van could have matched the description?
That is quite possible. However, the description of the van was also that it had a broken passenger window. So it was very noticeable.
Okay. So do you know what time the sign was stolen?
At around between 12:30 and 1.
Let's suggest that the sign was stolen at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. So is it fair to say that you had a 7-hour lead on them?
Well, I was called in at 12:30, so there's no way that the sign could have been stolen at 5 p.m.
All right. So what was the size of the sign?
Well, the size of the sign isn't really material to this case. However, it is material that it was stolen.
All right. So is it illegal to drive around with a sign in the back of your truck?
It is illegal if it is stolen.
So could you tell it was stolen just by looking at it?
In this case, yes, because I was described the sign by the bar owner.
So you were able to tell the exact details of the sign just by driving beside it in a vehicle?
As I pulled him over, I saw it through the window. It was in plain view, and the sign was described to me, and signs are made to be noticeable and advertisement, so it was very clear it was the sign that the owner had described to me.
So would you describe the sign for us?
Excuse me?
Would you describe the sign for us?
The sign was an advertisement for the bar.
All right. So did they specify how many people were in the vehicle?
No, they did not. But there was, the bar owner told me there was 2 young men that left angry because they could not purchase alcohol.
So 2 young men was your description of the occupants of the van?
Yes.
Did they ever admit that they stole the sign to you when you pulled them over?
So I don't recall.
Did he ever tell you that he was at the bar?
They never mentioned being at the bar. However, there were many witnesses that stated they were at the bar.
So you weren't given an exact description of the sign or the exact description of the occupants. So you have no evidence linking our client Marco Souza to the crime.
I do have evidence linking them to the crime, such as the witnesses that saw him there and the sign found in the stolen vehicle they were driving.
So you guys have other witnesses?
Yes, the bar owner saw them.
It's frozen.
And there was no registration of the vehicle, therefore it was stolen.
But the vehicle had a license plate number on it.
Having the license plate isn't necessarily registration and provides ownership of who's driving it.
So you pulled the van over and you checked the registration. It did not match Jason King. Is that what you're saying?
They could not show registration at all.
So under what grounds did you arrest them?
I arrested him for theft, the sign, and driving the stolen vehicle.
Did you see him steal the sign?
I did not steal the sign. However, police officers don't necessarily always see the crime happen. That's why there's witnesses and evidence that corroborates his statement.
And so our client Souza, was he in the driver's seat or was he in the passenger seat or some other seat in the van?
He was in the passenger seat.
So
Okay, we're gonna have to wrap it up because he's exhausting the time. Last question, please, defense attorney.
all right. So did you advise him of his rights?
It is always protocol to advise him of the rights, so yes, I did.
But in this synopsis, you only said that you advised him of the right to an attorney, but not a right to remain silent.
I don't recall, because as my experience as being a police officer, I always advise the person of their rights.
Okay, we'll have to end the day. Thank you, officer. Is there a redirect needed?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. You can step down, witness. Does the Crown have any further witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor, we rest our case.
Okay, so defense, do you want to call your first witness?
I'd like to start off by bringing our first witness, Isabel Souza, mother of Marco Souza, the defendant. Oh, man. Please state your name for the court. Isabel Souza, Isabela Souza. May we proceed?
Please.
So how long has it been since your husband passed away?
Well, it has been 2 years.
And describe Marco's behavior before the death of the husband.
Marco was a really nice boy. He was very helpful around the house, and he was a role model student at school.
Okay. Describe Marco's behavior after the death of your husband.
Well, he wasn't really. He's still a really nice person. He's a nice son. He loves staying with me. He loves helping me out at home. But I just feel like he wants to be away because he always whenever he's home, he always remembers his father, and that's really upsetting for him.
How will you deal with taking care of 3 kids by yourself?
It's been very overwhelming, and I need to take a lot of breaks sometimes. I just fall asleep on the couch, and Marco's usually the one that wakes me up all the time. And all because of this, that's why I called my brother to come help me. I mean, even though I called my brother, it does not mean that I'm not a fit mother. I will always help him. I will always protect him, and I just need some more help. And he just needs a role model in his life.
So why didn't you call the police after Marco didn't show up for a curfew?
Marco told me that he wanted to go on a date today, so I thought that was very healthy for him. So I let him go, and I told him to be back by curfew, and I waited for him. But then I fell asleep like I usually do on the couch, and since Marco wasn't there to wake me up, I continued sleeping on until the police called to tell me about Marco.
So if Marco broke his probation order, what would you do?
Well, now, can you please repeat the question?
Marco broke his probation order, what would you do?
I would now I have some extra help to help control Marco and to help me pass on and lower the load of looking after 3 children. So I won't let him break his probation order again.
And how would your brother, Mr. Gouveia, help with Marco's rehabilitation?
He will be an excellent role model for Marco, and they used to be really close, and just bringing him in would help lower the load of other worries, like taking care of all 3 children.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Cross-examination?
Thank you, Your Honor. Isabela Souza, you realize that Marco Souza is totally out of control, committing 3 different crimes in less than 1 year, correct?
Yes.
So you do agree that Marco, your son, is out of control?
Compound.
There's an objection.
On compound question.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'll rephrase the question. So again, Ms. Isabela Souza, you realize that Marco Souza is totally out of control, committing 3 different crimes in less than 1 year.
Yes.
And the only thing we have today in this court is what happened in the past, correct?
That is correct.
And again, Marco's crimes have only gotten progressively worse, correct?
No. They have not become progressively worse.
So you're saying the fact that he's gotten increasing charges means his crimes have not gotten worse?
Yeah. No.
So then by him having more charges each time, his crimes haven't gotten worse?
Can you please repeat the question?
Certainly. So again, your son's crimes have progressively gotten worse, correct?
Yes.
And he's even broken into his neighbor's house, correct?
Yes.
And he was, in fact, he was charged with breaking and entering, correct?
No, he has not been charged with breaking and entering. Yes, he has.
And as I recall, he did this while he was on probation, correct?
Yes, he was.
And he had a curfew, correct?
Please repeat the question.
And he had a curfew, correct?
Yes, he has.
So basically, you're asking for this to all happen again, correct?
No.
So you're not asking for him to have another curfew and another probation?
Yes.
So again, let me rephrase. Yes or no, are you asking for Marshal Souza to have another curfew, another probation?
No.
I'm sorry, I couldn't collect your answer. Was that a yes or a no?
Yes.
So again, you're asking for him to have these privileges again, even though he's breaking them twice in the past, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Because I want him to. I know that I have another person in my house to help me help control him, and because with my brother in the house, I'll be able to look after all three children equally and have my brother to come help me control Marco.
Right, but you promised that you should have him in control last time when you were his security, correct?
Well, last time I did not have my brother to come help me, and now with my brother, I will be able to help even out the load of taking care of three children.
Right, but you've already said that Marco's crimes have progressively gotten worse, correct?
No, I haven't.
Yes, that was my first question to you, and you agreed.
You've already asked that question.
Please withdraw the question then. For my next question, it didn't work out in the previous times that Marco was let go, correct?
Can you please repeat the question?
So in releasing Marco, it hasn't worked out in the past, correct?
That's correct. Because I wasn't able to take care of all three children, but now because of my brother, and I am sure that I will be able to keep care of all three children.
Okay, time's up. Did you want to ask your last question?
Certainly. You are aware that your son has testified that he's not as close with his uncle, correct?
He used to be really close with his uncle before before my husband passed away, and now he just wants some space from the family just because of whenever he's with his family, I believe that he remembers his father, and that's just really depressing for a young person.
Thank you, Ron. No further questions.
Thank you. Witness, you may step down. Will the defense like to call it their next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Defense would like to call upon the second witness, Mr. Adriano Gouveia. Please introduce yourself to the court.
My name is Adriana Gouveia, ADRAINOGOUVEIA. I am 45 years old. I am single, unmarried. I don't have any children, and I currently have a stable job for the great
Can you please elaborate on your employment?
I work at a research. I'm a research technician for the federal government, and I make about $65,000.
So where do you currently reside?
Oh, I reside with my sister and her 3 sons.
Why did you choose to move in with your sister?
Well, a lot has happened in her life. You know, her husband passed away, which is very unfortunate. And now Marco's been acting up, And I feel like she just needs the support in her life that I would be able to give. And also, since she has quit her job, I feel like I'll be there to financially aid her.
So what is your relationship with Marco like?
Before the death, we had a really close relationship, and he would reside in me. But then, after the death, he just became acting up because of the bad influence of his friends. But he's still a good kid, and I know that a relationship can get better.
So how exactly do you plan on removing these negative influences from Marco's life?
Well, first things, we're really gonna separate him from that group of friends because Marco's not a bad kid. He's a good kid. It's just that he just has there's just been so many negative influences in his life after the death that I feel like if we separate him, get him back into like extracurriculars, he'll start to form a relationship with his past friends, the ones that, pushed Marco and made him just that much better student.
So can you elaborate on the plan and what would be Marco's supervision from the time he wakes up and goes to school until when he returns and goes to bed?
So I work from 7 to 2, so I'll be able to drop him off and pick him up from school. We're gonna enroll him in extracurriculars, like I said. We're gonna introduce him to a new group of friends, and on the weekend he's gonna start to form a better relationship with the neighbor Yusuf, because he used to coach him with basketball, and he used to be a star player, and now I think he can get back into it, and he can even help him with this.
So one thing, how are you going to ensure that he stays in school?
Because I'll make sure that he stays in school, because I'll be that strong positive role model, and I'll be able to enforce that on him.
After your shift ends at 2, what will you be doing?
I'll be picking up Marco from school, and then I'll be staying with him and making sure that he does his homework. And then after, when he goes to sleep, I'll check his internet logs to make sure that he hasn't been doing anything behind my back or chatting with his friends or that negative influence. And I'll also be checking all the conversations that he's had on his cell phone.
How are you going to show that you're a role model to Marco?
I'm a single guy, but I have a stable job. I have a stable life. I'm helping my sister. I have a good relationship with my family, and he can see that I have a good relationship with his siblings. And I know that way he'll see what a person I am, and maybe hopefully he'll start to do it.
And do you know what it means to be a surety?
I do. I am liable for his actions. I'll make sure that he's there for the court date, and if he does get released on bail, I'll make sure that he stays with his curfew and that he'll follow every order the court gives him.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the Crown like to cross-examine this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Mr. Gilbert, you, in your affidavit, testified that you felt that you were going less close from your nephew, correct?
No, I did not say that. I said that because of the negative influence, I just feel that Marco's been a little, I guess, but our relationship's going to get better, and I'll make sure that.
And you can't guarantee that negative influence are going to go away, correct?
I can guarantee that with the help of the school. I'll be able to make sure that he'll be with his new set of friends, and I'll be able to.
So you can guarantee 100% that all the negative influences will go away.
I think the question is fair.
Nothing in life is certain, and I cannot say 100%, but I can say that everyone will try their hardest, and I know that Marco will also try his hardest as well.
So then you can speak on Marco's behalf, is what you're saying, correct?
Can you repeat the question?
So then you're saying you can speak on Marco's behalf, correct?
I don't speak on Marco's behalf, but I know he's a good kid, and I know he's my nephew.
But you just said that he's going to try his best. So you're saying you can't speak on his behalf, correct?
I can't speak on his behalf, but I know who he is, and I know what he does. I know what kind of kid he is.
But you would agree that, again, his crimes have gotten progressively worse, correct?
It's not him, it's his friends, it's that negative.
But that's not my question. His crimes have gotten progressively worse, correct? Legally speaking.
Yes, I would say so.
And you've never stayed with your sister And her sons before, correct? In a matter such as this?
I've never stayed with him. No.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
No, I've never stayed with them.
I think you may be muted. I'm sorry.
Okay. I've never stayed with them.
Can you hear us?
No.
Now we can hear you, I believe.
Okay, no, I've never stayed with them.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I've never stayed with them.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay, then. So then again, you can't, you have no historical basis for how to be a surety, correct?
Can you repeat the question?
You have no history of how to be a surety, correct?
No, I've never been a surety, but I know what to do. I know what my responsibilities are.
But you didn't step in with Marco's previous crimes, correct?
It's because his sister never really called on me. She's a strong woman. She's a great mother. You know, at first I thought she could handle it all by herself.
So you're saying you can, so I'm sorry, but you're saying you can come in and overtake this family when they didn't even want to call you when Marco was subject to his first crimes, correct?
They didn't call me at first. They did call me now, and I'm here to support him. I might not have been there in the past, but I'll be here right now.
Sorry, for the interest of time, time's up. Would you like to ask your final question?
Certainly, Your Honor. So, again, just to be clear, you cannot predict the future, correct?
No, no one can.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Would the defense like to call their next witness? Witness, you can step down.
Your Worship, we now like to call the third witness, Yusuf Osman. May we proceed? Good morning. Could you please state your name for the court?
My name is Yusuf Osman, YUSUF-OSMAN.
Could you please explain your relationship with the Souza family?
Well, I've lived next door to them for 5 years, and I've become close family friends with them. But prior to that, I used to teach Marco when he was in my middle school class and when he was on my basketball team.
Do you understand what it means to be a surety?
I do. It means that I will ensure that Marco attends all of his specified court dates, and that if he breaks his probation, then I will have to call him.
Are you a stable member of the community in which the accused will reside upon release?
Yes, I believe I am. I have a stable job. I make a decent amount of money, and I have a good family life at home.
Could you please further elaborate what your job consists of?
Well, I teach at middle school. I teach math and science to grades 6 to 8. I am also the school's basketball coach, so I teach, I watch over the basketball team and take them to all of their games and whatnot, as well as I also volunteer at the local community center and teach youth basketball.
All right. What do you think about the accused's recent behavior?
I think that it's just terrible. He's a very good kid when he was very bright. He was my star athlete on my basketball team, and I think that his father's death has definitely taken a toll on him, and that's the reason for all of this negative behavior.
What kinds of ideas are you planning on implementing so that the accused does not breach any more conditions and shows up for his trial?
Well, I am planning on, or the sureties and I are planning on removing him from the current school that he's at so that he can no longer be around negative influence. As well as mentioned before, he will be dropped off and picked up from school. And I personally will be getting him more involved in playing basketball with my older students, as well as I've offered to him before to teach some of my younger students as well as being an assistant coach. So I'm going to try and get him involved with a lot of extracurriculars.
So do you believe your involvement can make a difference in this case?
I do. I think that, removing him from that negative influence, being his old group of friends, and showing him some, camaraderie with teammates in basketball, it's going to help him.
So just to specify that answer, why do you believe Marco breached his previous jail conditions?
I think that he was, he's been going through a tough time with his father's death, and he's very vulnerable and very susceptible to influence. And I think that the full friends that he was hanging out with were a very bad influence on him.
No further questions.
Would the cross like to cross-examine the witness?
Certainly, Your Honor. So, Mr. Ozen, you don't live with the accused, Marco Souza, correct?
No, I do not.
And you didn't know about his past criminal history until this date, correct?
Well, his mother had spoken to me about it. She was concerned about his well-being.
Right, then. But your observations about Mr. Souza are just that, observations, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
So I'll rephrase. Your observations about Mr. Souza are just observations, correct?
Yes.
And did you know the last two incidents of the crime that Marco has been arrested for occurred when he was already on probation and breaking curfew?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
So yes or no, would you consider Marco Souza a good role model for your children?
No,
That was a no, correct?
that was, but am I allowed to elaborate?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that?
May I elaborate?
Certainly.
I don't believe that currently he is a good role model for my children, but I do know the kind of person he is. He is
So
very.
talking about currently, if he's not a good role model, then currently he should not be let go then, correct?
Objection. Could the lawyer please, give the opposing lawyer, Your Honor, ask the opposing counsel to let my witness answer the question.
Could we allow for the time for the witness to finish their answers?
Sure.
Thank you.
As I mentioned, I don't think currently he is a good role model, but I do know what kind of person he is. I do know that he is a very bright and a very talented person, and that he, with the right guidance and with the right help and the right support system, which he did not have, he can return to being that good person, and that he will be a good role model for my students or my children.
But he could just as easily commit another crime, a worse crime, correct?
No, I believe that with the support system he has set up now, he will not be committing.
You can guarantee that he will not commit another crime. You are 100% sure.
No one can guarantee that.
So then you can't guarantee.
Ask your last question, please.
When Marco Souza played basketball for you, he had to follow the rules, correct?
Correct.
So if I may ask one final question, Your Honor. If he broke those rules, then he had to suffer the consequences, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Okay, witness can step down. Does the defense have any further witnesses to call?
My worship, the defense would request 2 minutes just to prepare closing statement.
The defense has requested 2 minutes just to prepare their closing statement. If the Crown would like to take the time also, is that okay with the Crown?
Yes, we've been more than happy to accept that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, so because due to it being a reverse onus, the defense will begin with their closing summations.
May I proceed, Your Worship?
Please.
Your Worship, let's rewind to 2 years in the past. Imagine a young boy, who shared a strong bond with his father. A boy who went to school every day and brought him good grades. A boy who played on the basketball team and loved sports. A boy who had aspirations of becoming a graphic designer. Now imagine, this boy gets his report card. He has straight A's. He comes home excited to show his father, but realizes he can't. He'll never be able to. His father is gone forever. Your Worship, everything was going fine before the boy's father died. The man the boy looked for guidance and support was now gone forever, and the boy was lost. Everyone was going back to living their own lives. Brothers, his mother. But there was this lingering grief in the back of the boy's mind that just could not escape him. He made some bad decisions. He got himself in trouble. Your Worship, the boy I speak of is Marco Souza. Marco Souza has been in constant need of guidance and support after the death of his father, but has never had the opportunity to receive it. The plan that the defense has suggested today facilitates everything that Marco needs to get back on track. Through the help of Adriana Gueva and Marco's mother, Isabella Souza, Marco will not have the opportunity to recommit and will have the opportunity to get back on track. Moreover, if therapy and guidance is what he needs, he will receive it. And he will change into the person he was before the death of his father. Now let's address the cops' investigation. Overall, it was quite sloppy if we look at it in context. He did not take the notes of the sign. He pulled over the vehicle simply based on suspicion. He didn't even identify Marco, simply verbally identified him. Now, there's a new plan for Marco. And to address the grounds, the primary, secondary, and tertiary grounds, Marco has no history of missing trial dates. Therefore, he won't miss trial dates in the future. Moreover, he has strong roots in the community, and this eliminates all flight risks. He has roots in his basketball team, his school, his family, even his church. This eliminates the flight risk that Marco may hold. To address the secondary ground, as stated previously, Marco will be under constant supervision, either at school or at home or while playing basketball. On Saturdays and on Sundays, he'll be under constant supervision either at church or at basketball. And on the weekdays, he'll be at school under constant supervision from his teachers or from the coaches at the school. Your Worship, the tertiary ground does not even apply to Marco. He's a 17-year-old who has only committed one offense in the past. The other charges he's been convicted of, he's presumed innocent. The community would not be disrupted by such a matter. What's more, prison, as we all know, includes sex, includes drugs. This is not what Marco needs. Marco needs to go to school. Marco needs to play basketball. Marco needs an education and time with his family to get back on track, not prison. So, to conclude, the defense has shown that if let out on bail, Marco will stay true to his probation. The support and structure created by Marco's family facilitates everything that he needs to turn his life around. Your Worship, Marco's been drowning. Let's throw him the lifesaver that he needs. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. The Crown ready to proceed with their summation?
Thank you, Your Honor. If you may please report, my name is Jacob Shaw, and my partner Alondra Montezuma and I have represented the Crown in this bail hearing today. We're not arguing again the guilt or innocence of Marco Souza. We're simply arguing the fact that this is his third time to appear in this court and the third time he has sought bail. Each accusation has gotten greater in statute and penalty, Your Honor. Each time his mother has promised that he would do better. By doing better, I guess we should count the fact that his crimes have been accused of crime. By doing better, I guess we should count the fact that his crimes have only gotten better. Worse by penalty. Each time the security plan has flatly failed, and each time Souza has ended back up in the courtroom. We do not want this revolving door that swipes each justice to keep continuing. Some will say he deserves bail because he hasn't murdered anyone yet. Yet that is operative word there. Do you want to be the person to look into the eyes of his next victim or their loved ones and try to apologize for allowing him to run wild on the streets? You want to be the type of person who feels sorry for the criminal instead of feeling sorry for the victims of society instead. Your Honor, we sincerely hope not. You have a duty to the good of citizens of this community to look at these facts one more time and decide to deny Mr. Souza his bail. The defense brought up the fact that Mr. Souza was having a hard time because of his father's death. Well, so are countless of other people in this country and in this world. Just because you are having a hard time is not an excuse for committing crimes. Just because a person is having a hard dealing with something is no excuse for bail. The problem is having a hard time too, a hard time dealing with serial offenders. What makes the defense think that the province should allow its citizens to be in harm's way simply because Marco Souza now says he will change? He said this twice before. In fact, one time he set this trial for his defense, and he hasn't even gone to trial yet for his breaking and entering. Each time they paid the bail, and each time instead of doing what he promised to do, he ended up right back in court. This time, Link is barely dry on the second bail agreement, when he appears in court for his third time. His second jail hasn't even been held yet, and he's already facing bail for a third time. The Crown has shown that the words are cheap in place and the facts speak for themselves. Each trouble with the law has gotten progressively worse, and each crime has had one common factor since the first time. He has broken probation. These are the facts we are arguing in this court today. Does a man who committed these crimes in such a short period of time need to be able to walk the streets of a fair city to commit yet another crime, or should he be denied bail? I'm reminded of the old adages as my co-counsel was. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Your Honor, this has happened twice. Please do not make it a third time and then a fourth time. Your Honor, the Court Constable Tenzin Sonam. He testified that Marco Souza was arrested shortly after 1 a.m. on the morning of September 24th, 2013. The constable was called to the Nipsey MC Thirsty Pup to investigate the theft. Once on the scene, the witness told the constable that two young men took an electric bar sign from the pub and then escaped into a white panel van that had a passenger side window broken out. The constable came across the car and arrested two men in the van. Marco Souza was charged with theft under $5,000, possession of stolen property over $5,000, failure to comply with probation, and failure to comply with his curfew. The defense brought up the fact that they are making more promises. This time we should believe them. Are more empty promises any better than first empty promises, or for that matter, even a second set of empty promises? I ask you to remember these words. We should believe them. We've heard them twice before. Each time they were not true. Do we really think they somehow have changed now? I say not, Your Honor. Caused by the fact that their first witness agreed that Marco's crimes have progressively gotten worse, and their only guarantee, or supposed guarantee, for Marco's coming down to earth would be the uncle. But the uncle has shown us that, again, his crimes have only gotten progressively worse, and that he hasn't had much contact with the family, not being as close with Marco anymore. Caused by the third witness, Your Honor. The third witness has agreed that Marco was not a good role model, and hasn't even been a good role model in the past when he's had the chances to change. Agreeing and saying that in direct testimony that Marco's behavior has been terrible. Terrible, we agree, Your Honor, terrible for society. We cannot allow him to get even worse, as he hasn't even been to trial for his last crime, Your Honor. Again, as in basketball, if he broke the rules and had to face punishments, he should also have to do so in society. Because of these crimes, Your Honor, and because of the fact that Marco has promised his court twice before that he followed the guidelines of his probation, and because of these said promises have resulted not in any modification of behavior, but in fact only worse behavior, we the Crown asked that Marco Souza not be given bail so the peace of the good community will be intact. We are asking for the detention order allowing Marco Souza to be denied bail until his trial for these 4 offenses are completed. Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
Thank you. At this time, even though the decision's a very tough decision, and both the Crown and the defense have brought forth a very strong case for and against the detention of Mr. Souza. But at this time, the court will have to decide to release Mr. Souza to his surety, his mom, surety, the uncle, and to the neighbor. The court believes that with the opportunity and support of both the neighbor and the uncle, that Mr. Souza will be granted the opportunity and time to make some changes, whereas it has been demonstrated before the court that Mr. Souza has appeared in court, has not missed any of his court dates, and has been on time. So we have reason to believe that he will not violate any of the 3 grounds presented in the criminal code. Thank you. Okay, so not so much the serious stuff anymore. You made it really tough to make that decision. In Canada, bail is usually granted for a young offender, usually when there's crimes such as these. But you did make it very tough for me to have to side with the defense. Usually this case sides with the defense. Miss, but you did such a fantastic job. Congratulations, Crown. Is your co-counsel there?
Yes, she's right here.
Yes, I'm right here.
We both want to thank you so much for the opportunity today. It was quite fun.
Thank you.
What was that?
We just want to thank you so much for the opportunity today. It was quite fun and quite amazing.
Oh, excellent. Well, you guys are fantastic. You have definitely wowed me, and I'm sure a lot of the class too. And you brought forth some very good points, and I was impressed. So thank you for that also.
Yes, your lawyers and witnesses were just dynamic. Made it quite the challenge for us to try to keep up.
Thank you. And your witness, officer.
I'm sorry? Could you repeat that?
Joaquin. Your officer, is he present in the room?
Certainly, he's making his way over here.
He's arresting somebody now.
He's arresting someone right now.
Hello.
Hello.
When as Crown, you were able to deliver your testimony very well, and you were able to hold your own during a cross examination. Yeah, so good for you. So it was quite impressive, the 3 of you. It was amazing what you did in the time that you were granted. So congratulations, all 3 of you.
Thanks so much again.
Will we switch roles? Would it be you 3 again, or will it be someone else?
It'll be these 3 plus 2 more.
Excellent. So we look forward to meeting the other 2 and seeing you 3 again.
Certainly. Until next time.
Yeah, and then we'll expect the same verdict next week too.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, it always seems to go in that way with our bail hearing. So it would have to be the same, no matter what the delivery is. But I will email you, Michael, with the date and time, just to confirm everything. And if possible, if we could keep the same time, it'd be great. It's just the date I would need to discuss with you.
Yeah, we could do Thursday or Friday. It doesn't make any difference. Thursday might be better because Saturday is our district for our appeals court. So all these kids are competing at a district as well.
Oh, excellent. The only thing is that I will be out of the country next week, Friday and Thursday.
Wow.
I trust the class to put this together, and I can send the link to the student unless you want to do it the following week.
Well, the following week we're off for a week.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
But yeah, not really, but we might could do it that Monday. We're having everybody come in on a work day, so we could do it a week from that coming Monday.
Okay, how is this coming Monday or Tuesday? I'll be here this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We can do one of these 3 days also.
Can you all do Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday probably be better for us. Tuesday, same time.
All right, sounds good. Then Tuesday it is.
Okay. And we'll try to invite some people from Peru to watch as well.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, thank you.
Look forward to it. Nice to meet you.
Bye. Raul, do you want to?